right. It having reached the hour of 5:30 p.m., I am calling the May 6, 2025 Modesto City Council meeting to order and ask the city clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Ricky.
Present.
Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Present.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Wright.
Here.
Councilmember Scutier-Brayton is absent. Councilmember Alvarez is absent, and Mayor Zwallen.
Here. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation from Rabbi Caitlin Bromberg, Congregation Beth Shalom. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, staff, and community. It's my honor to offer a prayer before you today. Eternal One, Creator and source of blessing, please pour your blessings upon these faithful and devoted leaders. Grant them chokhmah, wisdom, bina, understanding, and da'at, the knowledge that leads to righteous action. Lift them up and fill them with your light and strength. Help them to reach out for the hands of our most needy neighbors to provide succor, sustenance, and healing. Lead the council to govern wisely so that the city of Modesto will be a place where every person can thrive, a place of justice, compassion, opportunity, and generosity. Give our mayor and council the courage and faith to pursue creative solutions to our challenges and help them inspire others to passionate partnership in this holy work. In this beautiful land of rivers, may our leaders be inspired by the words of the prophet Amos. Vayigal kamayin mishpat utzdaka kenachal etan. Let justice well up like water, righteousness like a river that never runs dry. May the guardian of the well of wisdom bless the work of your hands, minds, and hearts.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Does the clerk have any announcements?
Yes, Mayor, just a reminder, public comment is 3 minutes, and there's speaker cards at the entrance of the chambers.
Thank you. Do any of the council members have any conflicts of interest? Seeing none, thank you. Will the city attorney please report out on closed session?
Yes, Mayor. The council met for closed session today regarding existing litigation and property negotiations. No reportable action was taken.
Thank you. Next are acknowledgements and presentations. Item 1 is a proclamation declaring May 4th through 10th as National Public Service Recognition Week. I will read the proclamation. Proclaiming May 4th through 10th, 2025 as National Public Service Recognition Week. The City of Modesto recognizes the priceless contributions of its dedicated public servants who serve our community with commitment, integrity, and selflessness. Hardworking people spanning across various branches of government, including executive, legislative, and judicial, uphold their duties with unwavering commitment, integrity, and professionalism. Our public servants, including police officers, firefighters, corrections officers, medical professionals, and countless others, bravely and selflessly serve the residents of Modesto, often risking their own safety and well-being to protect and care for others. Departments such as Community and Economic Development, Engineering, Finance, Human Resources, Information Technology, Parks and Recreation, Public Works and Utilities, and the offices of the City Manager, City Clerk, City Attorney, City Council, and City Auditor provide essential services vital to the functioning and prosperity of our city. The strength and resilience of our community are sustained by the dedicated efforts of these public servants who work tirelessly to ensure the efficient operation of local government and the delivery of vital services to residents. Now, therefore, I, Sue Zwallen, Mayor, do hereby proclaim May 4th through 10th, 2025, as National Public Service Recognition Week in the City of Modesto, and urge residents to join me in expressing gratitude and appreciation for the outstanding contributions of our public servants and recognizing their significant role in shaping the future of our city, dated the 6th day of May, 2025. Accepting this proclamation will be Michael Rokaitis, Modesto Police Officers Association, Cal Miniscalco, Modesto Confidential and Management Association, Christy Beffa, Modesto Police and Fire Non-Sworn Association, and Ruben Esparza, Modesto City Firefighters Association, and Eric Cervantes, Modesto City Employees Association. Would you like to make some remarks?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and community members. On behalf of all City of Modesto employees, I want to express our heartfelt thanks for this proclamation recognizing Public Service Recognition Week. It's an honor to have our work acknowledged, and it means even more to know that this recognition reflects the city's year-round commitment to its employees. Public service is more than just a profession, it's a calling. Every day, our team shows up with a shared purpose to serve the people of Modesto with integrity, compassion, and pride. Your continued support, encouragement, and investment in our workforce empower us to do that work at the highest level. We're proud to be part of this city and grateful to serve a community that values and believes in what we do. Thank you again for this recognition and for standing with us, not just this week, but every week of the year.
You're welcome. Any other comments, or is that you're speaking for the group tonight?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Thank you, Mikey. I appreciate that. Stay here. Are there any comments from council members? Jeremiah Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Definitely, this is, to me, not perfect. Excuse me. This is not public service for you all. It's always been personal service. And that's because it comes from your heart. We know each and every one of you. You all are just dynamic individuals that take care of our community, whether it be fire or police in any other area. So thank you very, very much for all you do. And I don't think you introduced your service, Hannibal.
Thank you, Councilmember Wills, for your comments. This is Hudson. He's our peer support wellness dog for the department that you graciously gave us a couple years ago. We have 2 in the city now. I believe PD has 1 as well. And he helps honor our members when they've had a bad call or just day-to-day things. So.
And today he's going to get special treats, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
All right, Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to thank you for the service that you do for our city. Greatly appreciated, beyond words. You guys do a great job, and you are a value added to our community, and we greatly appreciate you all.
Right, Councilmember Ricky.
Thanks, Mayor. I also want to thank you guys for your service. You guys, all of you, you see the best and the worst parts of this city every day. And you always are holding your heads up high and representing our city in the best possible way. And I know that everything I hear from our residents is that they appreciate the work you do every day. And I want to thank you for that.
All right. Any other comments at this time? I'm just going to say it. I appreciate all of you so greatly, and Mikey, I'm going to call you out on this, but you know, when we talk about truly giving, Mikey's a person that literally nearly gave his life, and we are so appreciative of you and everyone else that's represented here, and our officers that truly put your lives on the line literally every single day. So thank you very much for that. All right. Thank you for being here this evening. I will now bring the proclamation down and present it. All right, here, why don't you come over here? Okay, all right, here we go. Here we go. All right, thanks again. Appreciate you. All right, next is a proclamation declaring the month of May as National History Preservation Month. I will read the proclamation. The National Trust for Historic Preservation established National Preservation Week in 1973. In 2005, the National Trust extended the celebration to the entire month of May and declared it Historic Preservation Month, providing an even greater opportunity to celebrate the diverse and unique heritage of our countries, cities, and states. Historic preservation is relevant for communities across the nation, both urban and rural, and for Americans of all backgrounds. Historic Preservation Month instills an awareness of the local historically significant buildings and landmarks to the residents of Modesto and surrounding communities. It is important to celebrate the role of history and the contributions made by dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspects of the heritage that has helped shape Modesto. We recognize that local historic preservation is an effective tool for revitalizing neighborhoods and maintaining community character. The City of Modesto established its Landmark Preservation Ordinance in 1988 to identify historic preservation sites and foster community engagement with Modesto history. Now, therefore, I, Suze Wallen, hereby proclaim May 2025 as Historic Preservation Month in the City of Modesto and urge all residents to support efforts to celebrate and raise awareness for historic places. Dated the 6th day of May, 2025. To accept the proclamation is Harrison Power, Chairperson of the Landmark Preservation Committee. Welcome, Harrison.
Good evening, Mayors Wallen, City Council, and City staff. As the Mayor introduced, my name is Harrison Power, and as Chair of the Landmark Preservation Commission, it is wonderful to be here tonight to celebrate the importance of preserving Modesto's history and landmarks. And everybody, thank you. Please pardon the happy squeals from the back of the room. She doesn't know it's not public comment yet. Historic preservation in Modesto matters because it connects the Modestans of today to the achievements and events of our city's past. With the Mayor and City Council's proclamation of Historic Preservation Month in May 2025, we celebrate the efforts by city leaders, property owners, and historians alike to support the protection of Modesto's significant sites. As stated, the Landmark Preservation Commission was established by the City Council in 1988 to honor Modesto's unique and significant resources. The Commission today continues with its responsibility of advising the City Council on the recognition of our city's surviving landmarks for future generations, like my 15-month-old daughter, Vivian, in the back. These significant sites, whether officially designated or not, have wonderful stories to tell and are immense sources of civic pride. In the mid-20th century, downtown improvement efforts often came at the expense of losing historic structures, irreplaceable architectural designs, and cultural connections to the past. Their absence highlights the great value of the city's designated landmarks and underscores the importance of encouraging proactive participation with the city's landmark preservation program to continue honoring our city's unique history and architectural heritage. The recognition of prominent figures, architecture, and cultural sites can have an immense impact on the power of placemaking, creating an attractive community where people are proud to live and prosper. Historic preservation and landmark recognition ought to be widely accessible to the community and embraced as a public good and communal benefit to make our city more vibrant and our community stronger. In the words of former Mayor Peggy Mensinger, here in Modesto, we lost much of our earliest construction when it seemed demolition was the best way to meet modern building codes. Given another chance, we might decide to rescue some structures worthy of restoration, and the community might well have been richer as a result. So thank you very much, Mayor and City Council, for this proclamation acknowledging Historic Preservation Month, and I very much look forward to future opportunities for stakeholders, the Landmark Preservation Commission, and City Council to work together to support preservation efforts in our community. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your remarks. Are there any members of the council that would like to make remarks? Jeremiah Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Harrison, you cease to amaze me at your age that you would know all that you do know about all the history in this community. Some have been here practically all their lives or many, many years, and you have just been here just a few years, and you know more about the buildings, the historical buildings, where they are. It's just amazing that you're able to retain all that, and you like doing that. And so thank you for doing that. It's just incredible. You amaze me. So thank you for being in the position you're in, and I hope you continue to stay in that position as long as you possibly can, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Councilmember.
All right, Councilmember Ricky.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, Harrison, I also appreciate the work that you're doing on the committee. As you know, landmarks are pretty important to me, and we've worked together quite a bit on trying to save more landmarks. And I'm just hopeful that we can continue to try to upgrade the city's ability to actually preserve landmarks, because right now we have very few tools, if any, to actually prevent our landmarks from disappearing. And we've had a lot of unfortunate situations where landmarks have disappeared over the last couple of years, and it shows no signs of,
letting up.
Yeah, so I'm hopeful that we can keep working together and fix that, and I really appreciate your effort and your care in this subject.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, Vice Mayor Barrow.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I'd like to thank Harrison for his leadership and his passion for all he does on the Landmark Committee. I'm one of the people Jeremiah mentioned that born and raised here in Modesto, and I learned from you on places I've never heard of before. So appreciate your passion and your work.
Certainly, thank you.
All right, please keep Vivian here. We need her here.
Yeah, we need the fourth
We
vote.
do. We need the little ones. That's the best, to hear those little voices back there. It will never, ever, ever bother me. I absolutely love hearing her little voice. Thank you so much for your efforts and for all that you do to preserve history in Modesto. I was born here 70 years ago or more, almost. And I remember one evening, just late at night, driving down the road and saw the mansion and the museum and the way they were lit up, and then the arch on the other end. And somebody had just commented to me about how beautiful it was. It was a visitor from out of state. And it truly was beautiful, and I recommend it to anyone. And that is a very solid reminder of why it's so important to preserve our historic buildings. So thank you so much for your efforts and for being here this evening, and I will now bring the proclamation down.
I can only claim 50%. Appreciate it.
Love having you here.
Thank you.
I'm hearing her sweet little voice. Go bring her if you want. Hey, Vivian.
Oh, you're gonna go? Okay.
Hey, Mom.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Come
Wouldn't be here without both of them.
Thank you all so much. Yeah? We need a heart.
Mayor, I know you can hear me, so I want to say this. Please, all of you, turn those speakers up where everyone here can hear it.
All right, we will try to do our very best. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Is that better?
For you, yes, for the others, I don't know.
All right, I speak directly into my microphone, so I will remind everyone to please do that so that everyone can hear. Next is item 3, a proclamation declaring May as National Stroke Awareness Month. I will read the proclamation. That's all right. This is proclaiming May 2025 as National Stroke Awareness Month. Each year, over 795,000 Americans experience a stroke. Strokes are one of the leading causes of serious long-term disability and are the 5th leading cause of death in the United States. The impact of strokes extends far beyond the affected individual. It places significant emotional and financial strain on families as well. Recognizing stroke symptoms and acting swiftly is crucial for saving lives. Time may be the difference between life and death, or even partial and full recovery. Remember the acronym, and I'm going to read it as stated here. However, we have one that is updated, I can see. Remember the acronym FAST. Face drooping. Arm weakness. Speech, slurred speech. Time, call 911 fast. The newer one says be fast, with balance being the B and eyes with blurred vision being the E. So be fast. Balance, eyes, face, arms, speech, and time. Up to 80% of strokes may be prevented by living a healthy lifestyle and taking advantage of preventive services. Innovative and effective treatments in the field of stroke care provides hope for reducing the severity and long-term impact of a stroke. Now, therefore, I, Suze Wallen, hereby proclaim May 2025 as National Stroke Awareness Month in the City of Modesto and urge all residents to learn the FAST acronym and join in stroke awareness and prevention activities dated the 6th day of May 2025. Here to accept the proclamation is Dorothy Trivedi, Clinical Research Coordinator and Stroke Support Group Facilitator at Doctors Medical Center, Dr. James Jaffe, MD, Neurointerventional Radiologist and Medical Director of the Comprehensive Stroke Center, and Brianna Cabiceras, Stroke Coordinator and Educator. Welcome, and we'd love to hear from you this evening. I apologize due to my allergies. It's just a problem. I know you all understand. Welcome.
I'm going to do a quick thank you. So thank you, Mayor Wallen and council members for having us here today. As you know, my name is Dorothy, and yes, I'm the Clinical Research Coordinator at Doctors Medical Center, and the facilitator for our stroke support group, and that's one of my, I feel like one of our most important jobs that we do. We have one of our members here from our support group as well. So these are community members who are stroke survivors, and we try to facilitate and get them together as much as possible. So it's one of our pride and joy, our group. So please know, again, stroke is very common in our community, and it can be devastating. But if you remember the acronym that you just mentioned, I think it can save lives. So again, thank you so much for having us here. And this is Dr. Jackie.
You're welcome. Welcome.
I'd just like to add, we should all be proud of what we've built at Doctors Medical Center, super unique, the first comprehensive stroke center in the Valley. As a matter of fact, I'm not being rude on my phone. I'm managing 2 stroke patients in the ER, a transfer from Merced and a transfer from Sonora. So what we've done here is unique. We are the busiest thrombectomy center in all of California. We passed Big County in LA for doing more thrombectomies. More geography than anything, but we're real good at doing it, and we've saved countless lives, and we should be real proud of what we built here in Modesto. It's really unique.
Thank you. You must have some comments. You are the person that helped build this from the ground up. I know that.
Absolutely, she was here before me.
I watched.
Yeah. No, I would just say that stroke is preventable and treatable, and getting that message out to the community. The number one thing that the community can do is recognize the symptoms and call 911. So.
But she's been incredible.
Yeah.
I 100% know that. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Are there any comments from council members? Jeremiah Williams.
I thought you were very speechless.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't know. There we go. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to all of you, and then all of your team and all of those that will join later on in the future, because it's really, really important, because I know that different individuals that I do know that have had strokes, it really affects their entire life, their family, their loved ones, and it really affects them. So thank you for what you do to help prevent that as well.
Right, thank you. Councilmember Ricky.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I appreciate you guys coming down here, because educating the public about this, it makes a difference. And I know it's taken important time out of your day and what you're doing down at the hospital, but education is a great step in reducing strokes, and I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, appreciate for you guys coming down tonight and accepting this proclamation. Just a reminder to everybody who may be paying attention to the council, you need to go and do your annual physicals every year. You need to test your blood pressure regularly, and follow the instructions of your doctor and medications that they give you. Don't shortcut on those. So that's how preventive care is the way you go to living a long, prosperous life. Thank you, Mayor.
You don't want to meet me.
What's that?
You don't want to meet me.
You probably had me on a treadmill.
I think that this really illustrates, this isn't something that's disconnected from the city. Some may wonder if it's connected, but what was mentioned was 911. When the call comes in, when our firefighters who were represented here this evening respond to the home, there is a protocol in place that Brianna had a whole lot to do with. And we are so fortunate in this community to have people like her that took it on and established these protocols. So the moment that call comes in, patients' treatment begins and proper services happen, and physicians are called into the emergency room. So they're waiting there, ready to respond to these patients. And it's really good to highlight that. I think that many in our community do not realize that all of you are standing by and ready to literally save these patients' lives, and we're so appreciative to you. So thank you for being here this evening, and I will come down and present the proclamation. Yeah, it's okay, 95 years old, she lived a good life.
Guess there's a doctor in the house.
Yeah. Come to my lab. I want you to be the one to have this and you can do it. How's it going over there at DMC, by the way? Good. Anyway, when I was with her upstairs, my mom was just with her, I was there for 30 minutes and I heard 2 strokes, screaming and trauma. And then there's the sepsis. The whole thing got 20 minutes. I'm like, good night. You're still crazy busy. I know, that's what they told me. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda is public comment. As noted on the agenda, public comment will only be in person. Zoom will still be available for viewing and wordly translation. Thank you for all being here tonight. The City of Modesto Council meetings are a place where everyone is encouraged to listen, share views, and participate in the decision-making process that benefits our community. Your engagement is valuable, and it helps our council and city staff collaborate on finding solutions that enhance the quality of life for the residents of Modesto. To be fair and equitable, every individual has the right to speak at this council meeting. However, it is imperative that we foster and maintain a respectful environment for the well-being and safety for everyone present at these proceedings. It is the mayor's responsibility to preserve strict order and decorum at all council meetings. Pursuant to the charter of the City of Modesto, Article 6, the Mayor, Section 601, Powers and Duties of Mayor. The mayor shall have the authority to preserve order at all council meetings and to remove or cause the removal of any person from any meeting of the council for disorderly conduct, to enforce the rules of the council, and to determine the order of business under the rules of the council. Accordingly, the city meeting decorum rules are as follows. Please be respectful of all presenters, council members, staff, and members of the public. Please refrain from clapping other than following a presentation. All speakers are encouraged to state their name and city of residence. All questions must be directed to the mayor. Please do not block the view of others by holding signs up during council meetings. Time limits for public comment is 3 minutes, but may be limited at the discretion of the mayor to manage the business of the council. Speaking over others or interrupting while others have the floor is not permitted. Cell phones should be turned off or shall be set to vibrate during meetings. Thank you for your patience and participation as we work together to address the issues impacting the city and the community. Maintaining order and decorum during the city council meeting is crucial in the effective governance of Modesto and ensuring the council's decisions are reflective of the community's priorities. Anyone disrupting the council may be asked to leave. Does anyone wish to speak on any item under public comment? This is for items not on the council agenda, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Anyone wishing to address the city council is asked to follow the rules of decorum. The rules are posted at the entrance of the chambers. I currently have 1 speaker card from Arthur Fabella.
Good evening, Council. I'm Arthur Fabella, and I'm here in regards to the proposed stadium at the golf course. So real quickly, I'm going to give you a little history. In 1918, it opened the golf course site opened up as an airport. In 1933, it became the municipal golf course. In 2020, it closed down. In 1955, John Thurman Field was built 70 years ago. And there have been many events at the golf course, such as breast cancer walks, hundreds of fireworks shows, the 4th of July fireworks. So I think West Modesto citizens, West Modesto has pretty much proven their commitment to our community, to tolerate things that things like stadiums, that kind of stuff brings. So we do have a kind of a similar vision, but my vision is a little bit different. It does not include the residential, and what it does include is the fairgrounds. And the reason I think this is important, because it would save a lot of our culture that I had just mentioned, such as fireworks and graffiti. We've had graffiti shows there, and kind of like, to me, it's a big part of graffiti, and I think some people don't really realize that. So I just kind of ask, what does West Modesto have to do with graffiti? It's not just J Street and I Street and 10th Street. Paradise Road. Paradise Road was the climactic scene of the graffiti at the end where there was the race, with the fairgrounds, I think we're able to promote graffiti, and if you're familiar with Tuolumne Boulevard at all, I envision the fairgrounds on Tuolumne Boulevard so we could save that community of those beautiful homes on there. I mean, it's beautiful. All those homes were built in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. It's basically like a graffiti movie set there. So the way I see it, I see the stadium on the west-south corner and the entertainment district in the south corner by the river. It is really the only place in Modesto where we could ever have a river walk with the entertainment district. Any other place in Modesto is either in a floodplain or it's already built upon. So anyways, I guess you guys will be voting next month on this issue.
I'm not exactly sure when that's.
Okay.
We have our workshop coming up. That's what you're referring to, I bet. We do have a workshop.
I thought I had read it was.
Yes,
you're
we
gonna
have a
vote on it.
workshop.
We
Yes.
do have more workshops?
In June.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, well, thank you, Sue.
June 25th.
June 25th?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, is there anyone else that would like to speak under public comment for items not on the agenda?
Mayor, thank you very much. Yes, we can hear you, but really that's about all. Maybe it's because of my being able to hear, but no, I don't think that's all of it. First of all, Veterans Day is coming up real soon, so I'd like to say hello to all the veterans and good luck to everyone. And also Mother's Day is coming up, so please don't forget that. But the real thing I wanted to ask, there's sidewalks here in Modesto. As I walked today, I was over by Reseda Park and by Insulin. There is a sidewalk over there that the city of Modesto has worked on that is absolutely horrible. And I've been told the owners of the property are over the sidewalks. But if the city works on them, the city of Modesto is responsible for it. So I would like the truth on that and to let the people of Modesto know what we can actually do if we see sidewalks that are not good, not go against the property owners or the city, but find out who the really person needs to be told about it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other members of the public that would like to address us at this time? Seeing none, next on the agenda is consent items. An item may be removed from consent and discussed at the request of a member of the public or council member. Is there anyone on the council that would like a consent item removed for further discussion? Seeing none, is there anyone in the public that would like an item removed from consent for further discussion or comment? Please speak in the microphone.
Yes, Mayor, items 14 and 21.
Right. All right. For clarification, would you like those pulled for discussion and comment?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, will the city clerk please read the consent items?
Item 4, consider approving the minutes for the April 22nd, 2025 council meeting. Item number 5, consider reaffirming the city of Modesto's relationship with the city of Aguascalientes, Mexico as a sister city. Item 6, consider accepting the payroll internal controls review report. Item 7, consider accepting the utilities fiscal review performance audit report. Item 8, consider approving the fiscal year 2025-2026 engineers report and setting a public hearing on June 24th, 2025 for the levy and collection of assessments for the landscape maintenance in the public right-of-way, street mediums, and areas adjacent to the access control walls in Dry Creek Meadows subdivisions numbers 1 through 6. Item 9, consider approving the fiscal year 2025-2026 engineers annual report and setting a public hearing on June 24th, 2025 for the levy and collection of assessments for landscape maintenance in the public right-of-way, street medians, and areas adjacent to the access control walls on the Dry Creek Meadows subdivisions number 7 through 10, Creekwood Meadows subdivision, and Yosemite Meadows subdivision units 1 and 2. Item 10, consider accepting the fiscal year 2025-2026 engineers annual report for the Shackelford Landscape and Lighting District, notice of intention to levy and collect assessments for the Shackelford Landscape and Lighting District, and setting a public hearing on June 24th, 2025 to consider the fiscal year 2025-2026 levy and collection of assessments within the Shackelford Landscape and Lighting District. Item 11, consider accepting the rebid La Loma Phase 2 straighten and replace water mains project as complete, releasing securities, releasing payments totaling $8,029,470 to Mozingo Construction, Inc. out of Oakland, California, and authorizing the city clerk to file a notice of completion. Item 12, consider accepting the monthly investment report for February 2025. Item 13, consider approving the agreements for maintenance, repair, and operation parts to Granger Incorporated, Lake Forest, Illinois, and Fastenal Company Incorporated, Winona, Minnesota, for a total combined amount not to exceed $3,128,524 over 5 years. Item 14 was removed from consent. Item 15, consider accepting the annual fire inspection report for 2024. Item 16, consider approving the sole source purchase of 2 LifePak 15 monitors and 8 Lucas devices from Stryker Medical, Chicago, Illinois, for a total cost not to exceed $323,525. Item 17, consider an agreement with American Medical Response West, Modesto, California, for reimbursement of costs for first responder services. Item 18, consider accepting the Modesto Police Department's annual military equipment report and approving an ordinance reauthorizing the department's military equipment use policy 710. And as required, I will read the full title of the ordinance, introducing and waiving the first reading of an ordinance approving the Modesto Police Department's military equipment use and policy in accordance with the California Assembly Bill 481, and approving the purchase of additional equipment that qualifies as military equipment in fiscal year 2025-2026, and rescinding ordinance number 3782 CS. Item 19, consider approving a purchase agreement with Telsion Communications Group, Turlock, California, for the Ethernet switch equipment for a total amount not to exceed $2,025,000 over 5 years. Item 20, consider approving the purchase of 2 internal lift screw pumps for Evoqua Water Technologies of Thomasville, Georgia, for a total amount not to exceed $3,411,840. Item 21 was removed from consent.
All right, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar as read?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Wright,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Bavaro, and will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Ricky,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro,
Aye.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
and Mayor Zwalin.
Aye, so it carries 5-0. Thank you. Next, we will go back to item 14, consent item 14. Consider approving the purchase of personal computers and laptops to Dell Technologies Incorporated, Round Rock, Texas, for an amount not to exceed $3 million over 4 years. And we will have a staff report. Welcome.
Welcome. Good evening, Mayor, Councilmember Deanna Christensen, Director of Finance. So this item is recommending a 4-year agreement with Dell for the $3 million. This specific request is in need to replace the current personal computers, which are laptops, normal PC structures, where, again, we have close to about 1,400 and about 1,200 or 83% are currently 4 years or more over past due and are dire need of replacement. They're out of warranty. And again, it's just standard structure where, as part of our internal service charges, we incorporate a replacement fee for all the departments to build up a reserve, so that way when it's time to replace these PCs, we already have the funding to cover the costs associated with the replacements. So this is just establishing the mechanism to be able to make those purchases when the replacements are done and these PCs are out of warranty. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
All right. Thank you for your report. Any questions from council members? Seeing none, any comments from the public regarding item 14?
Hi, Mayor and Council. So my question is, how many computers are we talking about here for $3 million? My heavens, that's a lot of computers. And also, I would like to know, did they look at the possibility of updating the operating systems of these computers rather than replacing the computers themselves? Because a lot of times you can operate, you can update the operating system of a computer. Usually that will keep it operating for another 4 or 5 years. And you can do that instead of always having to replace the computers. Granted, it will no longer be under warranty, but you're still saving a lot of money, and I'm wondering if that possibility has been examined at all. And then I wanted to know if the recipients of these computers, who I take it are city employees, are they taking these computers home? Are they allowed to use them for personal use? Is somebody monitoring the content of, of the browsing history and so forth of what their computers are being used for? What happens to the old computers, to computers that are now outdated? What happens to them? Where do they go? Are they sold, or does the city attain any refunding, recompense, I guess I should say, for the old computers, or is it a complete loss? And then finally, are we paying the full retail price for each one of these computers, or are we getting some sort of a deal? It would seem to me that a city ought to be able to get some sort of a sweetheart deal for such a large purchase instead of having to pay the full retail price. But then again, I don't know if we are or not, but are we paying the full retail price for each one of these computers? And then did you get several bidders, or did you only go with one bid? Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your comments and questions. I thought with the first two I might be able to answer them, but I don't think I can. I tried to write them all down, so we will try to get a response.
Okay. Afternoon. My name is Damian Booker. I'm the IT director for the city. I'm going to try to touch base on all of them. Let's start off with the deal. We did get a discount. We leveraged a discount through an agreement that goes nationwide for public sector. So that answers that. The number of units, we're looking at about 1,200 units. Do public or city employees take these units home? The answer is yes, but there are tight controls pertaining to these assets. We monitor these devices remotely and locally. Also, when it comes to the material on these devices, they're heavily secured. As it comes to retirement of the assets that we're going to replace, because these devices are end of life, most of them over 6 years of age and getting older, we are looking to repurpose what we can in a manner that is secure and viable for the city. So if it's really extremely outdated and becomes an operational issue, we totally retire that device. Certain components of the device we destroyed, considering the data sensitivity on certain components of the device. And I think I touched on everything. Okay, updating the operating system. So I'm gonna not go down a tech rabbit hole real quick. So the operating system itself, in order to maintain a strong operating, secure, let's say, image, it starts to grow as they start improving patches and elements and features. The hardware, unfortunately, cannot keep up with that. And when you get past, let's say, 3 years pertaining to infrastructure and hardware, you have to revisit that, especially when the hardware is no longer supported by the vendor. That means that the hardware itself could be a security issue and an operational issue, even if the software itself is viable.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions?
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other members of the public that have any questions or comments regarding item 14? Seeing none, I will close public comments. Are there any comments from council members regarding this item? Seeing none, I have a resolution approving the competitive bidding process from the state of Minnesota in partnership with NASPO Value Point with Dell Technologies Incorporated, Round Rock, Texas, for the purchase of personal computers and laptops for an annual estimated amount, $750,000, and a total not to exceed $3 million over 4 years, and authorizing the Director of Finance or her designee to issue the purchase order. Do I have a motion?
So, second.
Moved by Vice Mayor Bavaro, seconded by Councilmember Williams. And will the clerk please call the roll for this item?
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
And Mayor Zwallen?
Aye. Carries 5-0. Next is item 21, consider approving the purchase of 14,426 square feet of real property located at 7111 McHenry Avenue, Stanislaus County, California for $76,500 plus $15,000 in closing costs to be used for the Del Rio Well 70 treatment system project. And we will have a staff report. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm Will Wong, Director of Utilities. The reason for this item here is to purchase some real property located at 7111 McHenry Avenue. The reason why we're purchasing this property is that we've drilled a new well on the site, and unfortunately we've experienced some water quality issues. And so in order for us to mitigate those water quality issues, we need extra land around the well site so that we can install the well treatment equipment that is needed to ensure that we can deliver clean drinking water to the community of Del Rio. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Any comments from the public regarding item 21? Welcome, Kevin.
Thanks again, Mayor and Council. So my question with regard to this is pertaining to the word Del Rio. That stood out to me like a flag. That's a very prominent community in Modesto. And so I'm wondering if this well is for the exclusive use of the Del Rio community. And if so, I'm going to be flat out and just ask you, why can't they pay for it? I mean, this is a very affluent community. Why is the city paying for a well for the most affluent neighborhood in Modesto? And that's basically what I'm wondering. Why can't they pay for it themselves? Thank you.
You're welcome.
A very good question, but From the city of Modesto's perspective, in 1995, the city of Modesto did purchase the Del Rio water system as it was part of the Del Este Water Company at the time. So when the city of Modesto did purchase the system, we became the water purveyors of Del Rio. So from my utility director's hat, I do treat all our customers the same, regardless of where they live. We do have a responsibility to provide clean drinking water to all our City of Modesto water service customers. The well will be exclusively used by Del Rio because they are only served by groundwater. So we do not have a surface water line that comes from the City of Modesto to Del Rio. They are served by 2 groundwater wells. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any more questions.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public regarding item 21? Seeing none, any comments from council members? Councilmember Wright.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a question, Will. So is this on the corner of McHenry and Stewart?
Yes, sir.
Or is it the property behind it?
It's at the property on the corner of McHenry and Stewart.
And
So
there's-
it's a little bit located into it, but we're not buying all the property, we're just buying a portion of it.
So I know there's been some concerns about the looks of that property right there on the corner. Will we be doing any kind of landscaping or making that a little bit more desirable piece of property?
That's a very good question. We did commit to Del Rio to make it look nice, but anything above and beyond would be on the community of Del Rio.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Vice Mayor Bavaro.
I just had a real quick question. Was this land acquired through eminent domain or?
No, we negotiated. We actually did have an appraiser appraise this property for the city of Modesto, is brought to closed session and presented, and we are purchasing the property for this well.
Thank you.
The treatment.
Councilmember Ricky.
Was this comment time or question time?
This is comment time, but it has evolved into question comment, so we're good.
All right, fine.
We're just going to try to get answers at this point.
I do think that it is an interesting point to explore in that there should be advantages to being a resident of the city of Modesto in terms of your rates. And when we provide services for people outside the city of Modesto, I think there's a lot of wisdom in exploring different rate structures for areas that are outside of the city.
All right, since we've deviated from my script here, what will this be used for? Specifically, that piece of land.
The piece of property will be used so that we can install wellhead treatment equipment for the new well over in the corner in Del Rio. So we've installed the well already, and because we found that there were water quality issues, we need additional land to install this wellhead treatment equipment.
So the well is not on this property, it's a different location?
It's adjacent to it, correct.
Okay, thank you. All right, 2 resolutions, 1 vote, so it's going to be a little bit of a long one. Resolution approving the purchase of 14,426 square feet of real property located at 7111 McHenry Avenue, Stanislaus County, California, owned by Larry Killian and Angelina Mary Killian, trustees of the Killian Family Trust, dated August 5th, 1993, and Ronald D. Setliff and Shelley R. Setliff, trustees of the Setliff 2018 Revocable Trust, dated January 5th, 2018, and Lenore Catherine Setliff Chladdick, a married woman, as her sole and separate property, and Arnold W. Setliff and Catherine L. Setliff, trustees of the Norma Setliff Family Trust, as set forth in the Setliff Revocable Trust dated April 19th, 2004 for $76,500 plus $15,000 in closing costs to be used for the Del Rio Well 70 Treatment System project, and authorizing the city manager or his designee to execute the purchase and sale agreement and all related documents required to complete the transaction. Resolution amending the fiscal year 2024-25 capital improvement program budget in the amount of $91,500 to be transferred into the project from water fund reserves to fund the Del Rio Well 70 Treatment System project, and authorizing the city manager or his designee to implement the provisions of the resolution. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Wright.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Williams. And will the clerk please call the roll for this item?
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
And Mayor Wallen.
Aye. So carries 5-0. Next on the agenda is council comments and reports. Do any council members have any comments and reports at this time? Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few reports that I'd like to make. First and foremost, tomorrow at noon at MJC is the funeral service for Stephen Collins. Steve Collins, he was a professor there. He was also a president there. He had been there in the early 50s, and he passed away about a month ago or so. And the service is tomorrow at noon in the auditorium at MJC East off of Tully. Saturday was I was at an event. It was called the Fire Walk, and it was put on to help support those who are first responders and then also veterans to deal with some of the issues that surround some of the traumatic things that they experience. It was well done. There was a gentleman who was in the 9/11 fire that took place, and he was the keynote speaker, and he talked about the things that he was affected by, the things that he saw and felt at that particular time, stating that there were 349 firefighters that were working that fire that passed, and then 150 of them were individual firefighters that weren't on duty but came to help. That is just incredible. Also, Cinco de Mayo Parade was on Saturday. It was well attended, it was successful, and it took place off Crow's Landing Road. It was put on by South Modesto Business United. Sundays, it was an anniversary for the Hmong Christian Church. They had been around for 40 years, and they had a celebration. Also, the Community Foundation, this is kind of jumping around time frames of the last couple of weeks. The Community Foundation had a State of the Community, which was done very, very well. Learned a lot about the dollars that come into the Community Foundation. At this time, there are about $50 million that they have, that they work with the community in getting dollars to and help with initiatives, also help with a lot of the nonprofit organizations, which are about 60 of those in the community. Save Mart had a reopening, which was great, and we were fortunate. I was fortunate to be a part of that ribbon cutting. In the mayor's absence, she was not able to attend that particular day. A National Day of Prayer was last Thursday at noon, right here in the plaza, and I had the opportunity of praying for our city government. Also, the Love Modesto happened in between us having council meetings, and I want to thank the Dutch Bros who helped beautify McHenry, Walmart who helped beautify McHenry, and Save Mart and others who helped beautify McHenry. We had about 85 to 90 helpers just with the one Love Modesto cause. So very thankful to them for being able to help us with that. And I think that should conclude it. I may be forgetting something, but I'm looking carefully to make sure not. But thank you, Mayor.
Excuse me, thank you. Any other comments from council members? Councilmember Ricky.
Thanks, Mayor. As you all know, I've been working quite hard on trying to work on the struggles that they're having at the animal shelter. And I've had just a lot of conversations with a lot of people all over the community, and started working on recommendations for the shelter. And so tonight I kind of want to walk through some of those recommendations based on the conversations that I've been having with the public. I think one of the biggest problems that the animal shelter is having right now is They had a TNR program, that's Trap, Neuter, Release program, that was really successful, but it ran out of funding in 2019. I think one of the goals that the shelter needs to really get through is reestablishing that TNR program. It's the only way we're going to ever manage the feral cat populations effectively. And right now, the feral cat population is totally out of control. There's actually a kitty parvo epidemic going on right now in Modesto, and we're not able to act. We're not managing that population. We also should establish licensed and managed feral cat colonies as opposed to just having hundreds of feral cat colonies throughout the community. I also have gotten consistent concerns about the level of customer service at the animal shelter. We need to improve customer service training and require the shelters to answer the phone. And in the rare cases that they can't get to them, return calls in a timely manner, as well as streamlining the intake process. We also need to set up some sort of vet services on a permanent basis at the shelter. I realize that there are significant challenges in hiring vets right now, but I've talked to multiple local clinics and colleges in the area that are willing to offer services to animal services, probably at significant savings. They could get the job done in the same way, just not with a vet. So I think that's something that should be explored, and I encourage the animal shelter to start, taking advantage of some of those local connections. It's also confusing. I think we need really clear and transparent euthanasia policies, and we need to communicate openly with the public about what those policies are and how those decisions come to play and what capacity constraints are included there. And finally, I think we need to just be transparent and honest about the services that animal services provide. Current strategies that include like requiring appointments but not actually having appointments available isn't acceptable. Thanks, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to acknowledge and congratulate Jair Soares, recently appointed as our new battalion chief in the City of Modesto Fire Department. Jair has been around Modesto a long time. He's born and raised here, I believe. His family has a restaurant over on the west side by Modesto High School. It's actually probably going to be a plus financially for Modesto because Jair, I think, set the record in working so many overtime hours in the City of Modesto, but he's a tremendous asset to the fire department, and I think we as a council are pleased to see that he is now our new battalion chief with the fire department. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I failed to mention that it was Sunrise Rotary. It was sponsored, the event Saturday night. The Fire Walk was sponsored by Sunrise Rotary under the direction of Ralph and Ed.
All right, thank you. Just a couple of things to report. On April 23rd, our senior living places, Marple Manor and Ralston Tower, had a opening of sorts. They have been completely renovated. That is every inch of those buildings, painting inside and out, are renovated, and this is through multiple partnerships and tens of millions of dollars brought into our community to do that. And it was a rededication celebration at both places, and the residents were absolutely delighted. Not one complaint about having to move out and then move back in. It was very inspiring to hear some of their stories, and they are extremely appreciative, and it's absolutely beautiful at both places. Our parks work continues. Restrooms at Grayseta, the old ones are down, I noticed the other day, took a picture on my way into City Hall, and I've been receiving numerous comments about our park improvements, and the other day I was most delighted to hear one where it said the park is packed. I just keep hearing that over and over again, that there are so many people that are at the parks. Love to hear that. We had a Modesto Art Museum celebration and farewell of sorts. The exhibits and public art events and architectural tours will still continue through the museum, but that group that worked so hard for many years is now transitioning to other things, and so it was great to recognize them. I want to thank Save Mart and their improvements that they have made locally in their stores and their generosity to multiple nonprofits in our community. And the promotion was mentioned of the fire department. The fire department had several promotions, as well as the police department immediately after, with also additional hirings. And it's always delightful to attend those celebrations. So thank you for the invitations, and we love to recognize our employees. So thank you so much. At this time, does the city manager have any comments and reports? All right, next on the agenda is new business. Item 22. Consider reviewing, providing comment, and accepting the proposed fiscal year 2025-26 internal audit work plan. And welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Colleen Rosillas, City Auditor. I'm here to walk you through our proposed internal audit work plan for next fiscal year. So the city charter requires the auditor to present a work plan annually for your review and discussion. The charter does state that the work plan is at the auditor's discretion. That's really to support the independence in this function, but we want your input as we go through our planning for the year. As a reminder, 2 years ago, the city retained Moss Adams to serve as the designated internal auditor. We focus, as the charter dictates, on reducing the risk in the city, improving internal controls, improving operational efficiency and effectiveness and compliance, and ultimately getting city operations more in alignment with best practice so that we can deliver better public service. We conduct our work under industry standards and codes of ethics that guide internal auditing. Primarily, that means we do work for you under generally accepted government auditing standards, and that requires everything that we do to have sufficient and appropriate evidence to be a finding and for our recommendations to be practical and implementable. We develop a program that is based on our analysis of conducting enterprise assessments, meeting with you all, meeting with the team, kind of seeing what we see as we move around the city. We also connect with employees. We watch council meetings. We, check out social media and look at what folks are interested in. And we look at outcomes and data alignment with a strategic plan. Those are the main things that go into us determining what our plan looks like. We also look at opportunities in those key areas, and then we develop those findings and recommendations. We track corrective actions and implementation, which I'll talk about in just a minute, and we monitor the city's ethics hotline. So as I mentioned, we've been on board since the fall of 2023, and so this shows 2 fiscal years worth of work so far. Over the course of several years, we want to make our way around city departments and make sure we kind of hit across the city. You'll notice we've done quite a few citywide projects as we've gotten the function off the ground, and we're starting to move a little bit more into departments. And obviously, given the auditor's role, we've spent some quality time with finance and will continue to do so. Since the function was re-established, we've conducted 5 performance projects, 3 internal controls reviews, and we've also tracked and validated 178 recommendations, which shows really the progress that staff are making in terms of actually implementing what we and other external bodies say. So this year we had a project validating audit findings, and we worked really closely with city staff to put a process together, a tracking mechanism that ultimately verifies whether those recommendations have been implemented. We went back to 2016. We collected every internal audit report, grand jury reports, external audits if there were findings and recommendations, as well as anyone else who had kind of been a third party and made recommendations to the city. And so over that period of time, we found 237 audit findings and associated recommendations. We went back and worked with departments with the great help of the finance director to be able to understand whether those recommendations were actually implemented. So that wasn't just folks reporting back, but we needed supporting validation. Don't just show me the policy, show me that it's in use, things like that. So that way we could close those findings. So we've gone through 2 quarters of validation so far. And as I mentioned, we've got 178 resolved. That number is going to keep going up. Also, the number of findings is going to keep going up because you keep having internal audits. So this is going to be a moving target over time. We wouldn't ever expect 100% to be done. But this is really great credit to staff, and it's a great tool for you all when we think about transparency and accountability to the public. This is the purpose of the audit function, right? We want to make city operations more effective. We want to reduce risk. And here we've proven that stuff is actually happening. And so I'd really encourage you all to use that number when you're out in the community, and we'll also be posting these on the city auditor's website as well. So we have recommended for you all 8 projects for next fiscal year. 2 of the projects are ongoing work, so continuing that recommendation validation process, and then our ongoing program management, attending meetings, doing what we need to do to manage the function, as well as answering the city's ethics hotline. We also would like to conduct an enterprise risk assessment. The last assessment was done in 2022 prior to Moss Adams being engaged. And this is what really gives us the basis for developing our program over the course of 3 years. So it identifies across cross-cutting areas of the city, where are exposures, what are we doing well, what are opportunities for improvement from kind of a managerial policy perspective, but also what are areas that we can dig into as the audit function. And then we have 5 other projects that we recommend. So on the performance side, a performance audit of the city's homelessness response. That's been something that we've heard loud and clear from council, that we'd like a check-in on the data and to see how well the city is performing both against our own goals and compared to peers. A performance audit of parks, recreation, and neighborhood. So thinking about operational efficiency and effectiveness in that department. And then a fee benchmarking and cost recovery study. So what we would do there is we'd look at all the fees that are charged to the public, compare them to peers, identify any gaps, and assess whether fees cover costs. And then council can make some decisions around cost recovery related to those fees. And then on the internal controls and compliance side, IT policy review. So the IT department, your external auditors have given a close eye to the IT department, as they should, and identified some opportunities for improvement in policy. So we can help by reviewing those policies, comparing to best practice, and supporting the department by reviewing policies as they update them. And then conducting internal controls testing of cash as money comes into the city, making sure that procedures are in effect and that folks are adhering to internal controls. So this last slide just shows we're kind of hitting it throughout the course of the year, as well as we're within the budget. And as I mentioned before, we really want that balanced program so we can achieve the city's charter goals. So with that, I'll hand it back to you all and answer any questions.
All right, thank you for your report. Does council have any questions of staff regarding item 22? Vice Mayor Bavaro.
Thank you, Mayor. Can you elaborate in more detail on your auditing for homelessness response?
Sure. So what we would do in a performance audit of homelessness response is first we look at what the city's role is. So what does the city do in terms of homelessness response? And when you think about things like police and fire, public works, parks, they're often kind of on the front lines. We'd look at what's currently in place. We would also look at chat. We want to look at the data that's available from both the city and in the ecosystem. As we know, homelessness is not just a city issue, it's a regional and national issue. And so the city plays a role in that broader ecosystem, so we want to identify that. We'd look at providers, for example, and see what folks are doing across the city and in the region. And then we would compare essentially current practices to industry best practices, any leading practices, identify any gaps in terms of staffing, in terms of operations, and really give you kind of that point in time, here's how we're doing, so then you can come back and check up on it over time as well.
So would you be making recommendations such as, we have Salvation Army, we have Gospel Mission. There's a lot of medical calls going in and out of those 2 shelters. Would you review the data and then recommend to the council cost savings proposals such as maybe having a paramedic or a nurse or whatever at one of those sites rather than having fire department going in there 4 or 5 times an hour? Not saying that they do, but would you be making those kind of recommendations to the council?
Yeah, that could be. So things that are very operational like that absolutely could come up. We also may come up with things that are kind of much more on the policy angle. They tend to be pretty wide-ranging studies.
And will you then look also at grant monies that we receive and the results of the use of those?
Yes,
dollars?
definitely. It's getting it all in one place, right? And that can be a really useful communication tool as well.
Thank you.
All right, I have a question to follow up with this, but more at a, I mean, even prior to looking to accountability issues from city departments, but will there be any comparisons to what we do as a city, maybe compared to other cities? And also the fact that that we are not healthcare providers. That's not in our area of expertise, except for fire and PD that's involved with, we've chosen to participate more fully than maybe a lot of other cities have. So will that be analyzed also?
Yeah, definitely. As I mentioned, this kind of the city's role in the ecosystem, right? And so you have not-for-profits, we have other governmental entities all the way up through the state and federal government, right? The county, public health, right? Hospital, private health, right? There are so many areas where folks who are experiencing homelessness interact with different systems, and the city has one piece of that. And one of the challenges with homelessness response at the city level is that it's very hard and honestly not very appropriate to say to a member of the public, well, that's not our job, it's the county's job, so call them, right? And so the city often says yes or tries to figure out a way, or it's simply a perception challenge. So what we like to do in these studies is to clearly define what the city's role is based on the operational decisions of management and the policy decisions of council. And that's a really important thing to then measure your progress against, right? So we're saying, here's what we do in Modesto, here's what other cities might be doing, and here's how we're doing in terms of, you know, our own progress and our own goals, but also other cities that are doing the same sorts of things.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. So on the internal audit program review, where you have human resources, and then you have the Department of Utilities, so is there a report card from where we were to where we are?
Well, the enterprise risk assessment will give us a good report card. So that'll be we can compare that to the 2022 results and see where risks increase and decrease. Yes.
Okay. And then so over to the other internal audit program review, where it talks about functional internal controls reviews is 3, and then the performance projects is 5. Is that going to the 1 through 8, or is that something else? Or was 3 items that were done? That's on.
Yeah,
there's no page level here.
Over the course of the last 2 fiscal years, those are the projects that we've done. Yeah.
So 3.
Yes.
Are they itemized? Are they listed?
Yeah, so they're actually all available on the city auditor's website, and you can see on the prior page, you'll see the list of them. So we conducted internal controls reviews of procurement, payroll, and accounts receivable is in progress right now.
Okay.
We also did a citywide internal controls review. That was our first project, if you recall, so that we could really understand what are we getting into and where do we need to focus.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other questions regarding item 22? I'll just bring one more up. So you're seasoned at doing this. Do you find that the city of Modesto is anxiously willing to participate in these audits to improve processes? Would you give us just some enlightenment on how we're doing?
Sure. Well, I wouldn't say anxious. No one is ever excited to see an auditor coming, and we don't get invited to a lot of parties. However, we've had great cooperation and collaboration with staff. In general, folks have been really happy to get started. All of our work has happened on time, which that can be kind of an indicator. People don't want to get started, or they send things in kind of slowly or stall. We haven't had that issue at all. And we've had a really good collaboration with departments in terms of developing recommendations. As I mentioned before, with respect to our auditing standards, they require us to have reasonable recommendations, right? And so we really want to work with folks once we have those draft recommendations to make sure they can be implemented, that they make sense. And those conversations have been very generative and collaborative.
All right, thank you. So now I will open this up to the public. Are there any members of the public that would like to come forward regarding item 22? Seeing none, I will close public comments. Council member comments. Anyone? Seeing none, I have a motion. I need a motion accepting the fiscal year 25-26 internal audit work plan.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Wright. I'll make the second, and will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Ricky?
No.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
And Mayor Zwallen?
Aye. So it carries 4-1. Next is item 23, consider receiving Mayor Sue Zwallen's fiscal year 2025-26 final budget modifications message per charter section 1303 for the fiscal year 2025 budget year. And we will begin with a brief staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, council members. Steve Christensen, OPMB Director. So per section 1303 of the city charter, the mayor is required to provide the city council with their final budget modifications, if any, to the draft proposed budget at least 45 days prior to the new fiscal year, which starts July 1st, 2025. To satisfy this requirement, Mayor Zwellen will now read her final budget modification message.
All right, thank you. To the residents of Modesto and members of the City Council, it is with great honor and respect that I present for your consideration the proposed fiscal year 2025-26 operating capital improvement and multi-year project budget for the City of Modesto. This budget reflects a coordinated effort between staff, our city manager, and the City Council, and is guided by the policies and priorities set forth in the new 2-year strategic plan. Through earnest and meticulous planning, the proposed budget for fiscal year 2025-26 reflects our commitment to fiscal responsibility with the uncertainty of future economic times, while also planning for continued improvement of services for the residents of Modesto. The approved funding in the fiscal year 2024-25 Measure H spending plan continues to make lasting improvements across our city. Park improvements continue to be made. Public safety is being supported with additional positions and resources added to the police department. The fire department continues to improve their ability to save lives with advances in their emergency medical services with additional funding for life packs and Lucas devices, as well as replacement of overextended fire apparatus. Forestry continues to reduce the city's pruning cycle, work on the removal of tree stumps, as well as work on the reforestation of the many trees that make Modesto a city of trees. Progress is being made in the city's homelessness efforts with critical funding for the Downtown Streets team and multiple housing opportunities. All these exceptional improvements would not be possible without the funding approved by you, the residents of Modesto, through Measure H. With the continued voter-approved Measure H funding, the fiscal year 2025-26 Measure H spending plan looks to continue the efforts listed above and provide additional improvements to city services. The Measure H spending plan that is proposed with this operating budget includes $13.7 million in spending on new programs, as well as $25.7 million on spending for previously approved Measure H programs. New funding in the spending plan will go towards the following: Parks deferred maintenance, $2.1 million; public safety, $3.4 million; forestry equipment, $60,000; Martin Luther King Park renovation program, $7.9 million; rentable community stage, $260,000. The items listed above will add to the already expansive list of improvements that the City of Modesto has been able to achieve as we strive to enhance the quality of life for all residents. The proposed budget continues to address needed infrastructure improvements around the city. Street work will continue for the current backlog of sidewalk repairs, and we will see work continue towards the completion of the Cesar E. Chavez Park renovation towards the end of 2025-26. The park projects represent a significant investment into providing recreational opportunities for our residents to enjoy year-round. While Measure H continues to provide service advancements and infrastructure improvements for the public, the city's general fund continues to be impacted by the external pressures of the economy as some major revenues continue to decline, while many expenditures are beginning to see the impacts of prolonged inflation. Overall, the general fund is facing a budget deficit, with expenditures exceeding revenues by $19.6 million. The most recent decline in sales tax revenues is heavily impacting the current fiscal year and projections for the proposed fiscal year 2025 budget year. Measure H has helped to ease the burden of the ongoing budget deficit, and staff continues to heavily scrutinize the general fund operating budget to minimize the impact of the ongoing structural budget deficit. As mayor, the charter dictates that I prepare and deliver to the council any final budget modifications to the draft budget. At this time, I have no modifications and recommend that the draft budget be moved forward for approval by the council in June as the proposed budget. In times of uncertainty, I take solace in the knowledge that many individuals and organizations across the city, as well as my fellow council members, continue to work together to address important topics like public safety, homelessness, economic development, and blight. Together, we address these complicated topics knowing that the goal is worth all the effort, planning, and difficult conversations. The city will continue to do its part to push forward and make innovative ideas a reality for the deserving residents of Modesto. I would like to thank our community, staff, and council for the support I have received as mayor. The push to improve the quality of life in Modesto is possible because we work together. I sincerely appreciate you all. I'm excited for what the future holds for our city. Let's continue to build that future together, fostering innovation with integrity. Signed by me, Suze Wallen. Does council have any questions regarding this item? Seeing none, are there any members of the public that would like to comment regarding item 23? All right, we will close public comments. Any comments from council members? Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. And also thank you, Mayor, for your leadership this year as we go through the budget workshop, have gone through the budget workshop, and it is noted that you're doing a fine job, so thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. And do I have a motion?
So moved.
Receiving Mayor Suze Wallen's fiscal year 2025-26 final budget modifications message per Charter Section 1303 for the fiscal year 2025-26 budget year. We have a motion by Councilmember Wright. Second by Vice Mayor Bavaro. And will the clerk please call the roll for this item?
Councilmember Ricky?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bavaro?
Aye.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
And Mayor Wallen.
Aye. So it carries 5-0. Thank you very much. Are there any matters too late for the agenda? Seeing none, I'm calling this meeting of the City Council to be adjourned.